Good morning and welcome to Unicorn Square. My name is Bridget, Fairy Liaison, Oracle Doll Maker, and Human Sparkle. Yeah, I'm going with it. I am here today working on some fairies, so I thought I would invite you into my workshop to see the process, and then we'll have our fairy of the day filled with magical crystals that'll make it support you as an emotional support fairy, and it's always very exciting. So thank you, and join me now as I fast forward through the process of creating a fairy, and we'll check back in to see what that fairy's personality and support has to say. Thank you. Okay, so that is a fun time lapse of the final parts of assembly for this little fairy of the day. Now this fairy is going to go to someone very special who recently lost a pet. And so the crystals that we'll be using to support the owner of this fairy during a rough time is that we're going to use a little smoky quartz, which takes away any negativity. It's also very grounding, and yeah, it's really special. So it takes away any like if you're too it just helps to remove some of that, right? And then we have amethyst, which is super comforting. It's really great to take away any stress, or it's very soothing. It's really great for meditation. It's good for a good night's sleep with good dreams, and it aids in emotional recovery, right? And then we're going to add in my favorite, a rose quartz for unconditional love and infinite peace. So we're going to put that one in there too, which I just love. It just is like really supporting with a lot of love. And then the final one that we're going to add in is citrine, because I think it's really awesome. Citrine's great because it always beams goodness, and it cleanses the crystals and charges them that it's around. And I think it's really great because it promotes inner calm, and it's also a crystal of optimism for better times ahead. So those 4 crystals are going to be sewn inside this fairy's heart. And so now I'm going to just sew her head on. So please hold for one moment on that. And so actually I'll chat while we do this. I was going to do another time lapse, but it's more fun to visit. It doesn't take long. And I like to explain, I have 1,000,000 needles, and this needle, sorry, I have like sewing hands. This needle is crooked, and it's my favorite needle ever. I bent it with my own superpowers from many years of sewing fairies. And it's really funny because I have a ton of needles, and this one is always like my go-to, which is really, it always cracks me up. So I'm like, I should practice the art of detachment, and I have plenty, there's more where that came from, and I shouldn't, but then I just keep track of it, and I love it. It's a really good, it's like my good luck fairy needle. So now in this section, I sew the fairy heads on, and I see one little puka that I'm going to fix in a second here. So I sew on the fairy head, and I think I need a little bit. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to fix this one right here. Right here, I feel like I pulled the fabric too tight on the hat, and so I like to go back and tighten that up a little bit so it doesn't have that little ruffle. And there we go. That's going to be good. So in my own quality assurance department, which is always exciting. So yeah, so the fairies some days I do the fairy cards, and some days we just go with the situation and kind of like what would the fairies want to deliver for their message, because they're very wise. They have a lot of things to say. I just did, you can check it out. I just did my new podcast, and it's loaded on my website at Unicorn Square under podcast, featuring our magical creature sketch artist, my dad, who draws images of different animals and their messages that I see at Unicorn Square. And so this week we have a ladybug, which is really cool. A ladybug offers, yeah, that's way better, offers a lot of good luck and is a lot of wisdom. We learned a lot about the ladybug. And so anytime you come across any creature that flies into your path and you're like just like a week ago, I had a butterfly randomly appear in my workshop, and it's the middle of the winter here in the East Coast, so it was kind of a wild thing. I'm like, you're pretty resilient. Oh, that's a good word, resilient. I should have used that. Oh, next time. And so not only did the ladybug have messages to say, but I find them to also, if you count the number of spots on their wings, that will also give you a secondary message, because everything is a message from nature and the fairies. So it's kind of exciting. And I think I am gonna pause this for a second while I do this final part of the fairy head, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here she is. This is exciting. And I think her arms are out for one big hug. Kind of exciting. And then we'll add some wings. A pair of wings here. Here are the wings. So those are really cute. And here is our fairy of the day. And I think it's a really lovely fairy. Please hold while I tie on her wings and set her free. It's kind of exciting. And this one's going out to a super special order today, and I might make a couple more for St. Patrick's Day, but we'll see, because everybody knows fairies are awesome in Ireland, right? So there we go. That's so exciting. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow.